It's 7:10 a.m.
It's 7:10 a.m.
Time to wakey wakey and time for bakey.
Time to wakey wakey and time for wakey.
Get ready for your host with more.
Get ready for your host with more.
Mr. Brian Brown.
Mr. Brian Brown.
It's 7:10 a.m.
It's 7:10 a.m.
Que la roja bichuela y guandule no viene ligado igualito que yuca. Ese pelo que tiene tan lindo, no venga a pensar que eso es una peluca. Tiene cotorra perico, yo tengo cotorra, tú tienes la cuca. Está claro en el ring, en el piso yo quiero.
No critiques mi pelo, que la soy bueno, porque tú no tienes que de odio tú estás lleno. No critiques mi pelo, que la soy bueno, porque tú no tienes que de odio tú estás lleno. No critiques mi pelo, que la soy bueno, porque tú no tienes que de odio tú estás lleno. No critiques mi pelo, que la soy bueno, porque tú no tienes que.
And boom, we are live. How's everyone doing on this terrific, what is today? Paranormal Tuesday, guys. That's right, man. I slept pretty good last night. Shoulder didn't give me too much trouble. This cold's a little sore today, but not too bad. Not too bad, guys. I had a good night's sleep. Hopefully you guys did too, and we're ready to tackle the day on this Paranormal Tuesday, guys. That is right. Woo! How's everyone doing out there this morning? We're going to get into a good one today, guys. We are looking at the best. That's right. The best toys from the 80s, guys. We're talking Christmas presents from the 80s. We're talking the G.I. Joes, the Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back. We're talking Return of the Jedi. We're talking Big Wheels. We're talking Barbie. We're talking all the toys you grew up with. That's right, guys. And we're going to get into a whole mess of trouble, and we're going to see which is the best toys that you can remember coming down the hallway, whatever it was, stairs, hallway, through the kitchen, out the back door, whatever you did, and you saw those toys underneath the tree, you got to open them, and you got the best Christmas of your life. Remember that, guys? That's what we're going to be reliving today, the best Christmas of your life. How's it? Polly Pocket. Nice. I remember Polly Pocket. Oh, that's funny. I'm all wrinkly here. Look at me, guys. I'm a mess. Nice. How's everyone doing this morning? We got a whole mess of people up in here getting ready to get the week started, guys. Monday. Well, what happened yesterday? Anything exciting? I think just the same old stuff, man. People freaking out about nothing. I think the Christmas spirit's coming, guys. I see inflation starting to hit Christmas, which is kind of sucky, but we can still have a great Christmas, guys. We will. Darth Maul lightsaber. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. I remember those dual Darth Maul sabers. Those things were freaking hot when they first came out. All right, guys, we're going to get into roll call this morning. How do you get in roll call? You want your shout out? All you need to do is blow up those comments. Let us know you're in here, and we will make sure you get a shout out in the morning, guys. All right, let's do this, Danksters. Let's do some roll call.
Roll call for the Danksters. It's 7:10 a.m. Rise and shine. It's time to slam. Break the mold. Rebel from the north. Danksters unite. Let's raise a storm. D-A-N-K. We're here to play. Loud and proud. We won't obey. 7:10 a.m. We'll rock your day. Danksters assemble. Never fade away.
That's right. Danksters assemble. We never fade away. Good morning, guys. Who's doing a wake and bake right now? Who's getting a little sleepy off their eyes? Who's getting their bowls full? That's right, guys. This is what 710's all about. Hey, we also do a lot of giveaways, guys. On Friday, on 420, we are giving away a Troy Cox. That's right, autograph, guys. Beckett certified from the movie Bad Santa. That's right. What do you need to do? All you need to do is hashtag bad Santa, guys, and you'll get put into that for the big giveaway on Friday. We got a lot more Christmas stuff coming up, a lot of cool giveaways. We got November to Dismember, guys. Get over there and vote. I know I got to get the next bracket up today. It will be up today, working on those graphics. And then we'll get into the next round and the next round, guys. So get over there and vote. What you're voting for, what you're entering to win, guys, is the ultimate Annabelle Conjuring prize pack. We got Funko Pops from the Annabelle movie, The Nun, The Conjuring. We got the life-size Annabelle doll. We have autograph Funkos from the movie The Conjuring. We got 8x10s. We got Annabelle keychains. We got all sorts of Conjuring stuff, guys. You're going to win the ultimate daily Dank Conjuring pack. That's all you need to do. Get in there and vote, guys, and participate in November to Dismember. Get in on that, guys. Mojave Martian says, bad Santa. Good morning, good morning. Mojave says, respect my authority. All right, guys, let's get into these shout outs this morning. Roll call. See who's all up in here. We got Chantel. Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully, I saw they redecorated the house. They put up the tree. Nice, nice. Russ and Chantel, big shout out. Looking like that Christmas spirit going on over there. We got Rosie Key. Good morning, Rosie. How are you? We got Mojave Martian in the house. That's right. Lurking and creeping, learning things about the Mojaves residents that maybe we don't want him to know. Tim W, good morning. How you doing? Tim W asked me yesterday how I have artificial turf that I need to lay down that I bought. He asked me how's it going. I'm like, it's going like a one-armed man in a turf laying contest. Not too good. Oh man. We got who else we got in the house? We got Teresa Deller. Good morning, Teresa. How are you? We got Honey Nut Heroine in the house. Good morning. Teresa Deller about to be off walking, doing her thing. Good morning. Trevor, it's wake and bake dab time, man. I'm ready to go back to bed as soon as we hit the wake and bake this morning. Brian's Bong, good morning. We got Lonnie in the house. How you doing, buddy? We got Chris Zucchini, my buddy. How you doing? We got Eric. Good morning, Eric. How you doing, man? How's your day looking out there today? We got Eric, Trevor, Mojave Martian, Aaron. Good morning. Danksters having a 1:50 a.m. snack and pizza, waffles, and ice cream after wake and bake. Nice. Hashtag bad Santa. All the way from Australia, guys. Nice. Awesome. I did watch Cheech and Chong marathon on Tubi. That's pretty cool, man. You know what? They still hold up a little bit for as far as stoner stuff. Man, that is a hell of a munchie attack. As far as stoner stuff goes, man, it still holds up. It holds up pretty well, if I do say so myself. All right, guys. Oh man, sorry, a little sore this morning. Ah, all right. I had to get situated there. All right, guys, let's get into a little today in history. Today is the 5th of December. Remember, the 5th of December. No, that's not how it goes. But remember the 5th of December, guys. We are getting into today in history for December 4th. If we don't know the past, we're doomed to repeat it. So we're going to study it. We're going to see what's up, and we're going to find it, guys. This is Today in History, brought to you by the Healing Center, 1400 Needles Highway, Needles, California. The Healing Center. Let's do it.
Today in history, a journey through time where legends are born and secrets intertwine. Join us at 7:10 a.m. for all to see as we unravel the histories from our history.
All right. And as always, guys, we go to Britannica. .com is the website we use for Today in History, just so everyone knows it. All right, let's get into it, guys. We got some birthdays. In the house. We got, Little Richard. Good golly, Miss Molly. I sure like the ball. That's right. Little Richard is born today, guys, in 1932. Wow. We got Boom Shambhala Ablana, the king of Thailand, was born today in 1927. In 1901, Werner Herzog, German physicist, or Heisenberg. Werner Heisenberg, not Heisenberg from New Mexico, but Werner Heisenberg, German physicist and philosopher, who Heisenberg from Breaking Bad got his name from, guys. In 1839, George Armstrong Custer, George Custer, a U.S. Military officer, was born. And then the big one, guys, we got the big birthday on this day in history in 1901, making him a staggered 122 years old. But he's not. He passed away, unfortunately. Walt Disney, guys. Walt Disney was born in Chicago, Illinois on this day. Huge bucket of win, man. What can we say about Walt Disney? Um, Innovator, groundbreaker, huge innovator, guys. Changed the way we perceive the world. Wanted to bring some happiness into it. Walt Disney. Happy birthday, Walt. Thank you for all the good times. All right. Featured event, guys. Witchcraft condemned by the Pope Innocent the Eighth. That's right. 1484. Innocent the Eighth condemned witchcraft on this day in 1484 via PayPal, oh no, Papal Bull, not PayPal, Papal Bull, and subsequently had dispatched inquisitors to Germany to try witches and persecute chief exponents of the Renaissance. So church is taken over here, guys. 1484. All right, in 2017, the International Olympic Committee banned Russia from the 2018 Winter Games in Korea after uncovering a Russian state-sponsored doping program. Yeah, that was huge, man. They had their guys all jacked up. All right, 2013, South African nationalist and statesman Nelson Mandela, who helped end the country's apartheid system and racial segregation and ushered in a peaceful transition to the majority ruled, died at age 95. Now, if you guys know the Mandela effect, people think he died a lot earlier in his life, but that did not happen, apparently. All right, Brazilian architect Oscar Niemeyer, an early exponent of modern architecture in Latin America, especially known for the curvaceous glass and white concrete buildings that he designed for Bristol, died at the age of 104. It's a big life, man. Fijian military leader Frank Barmama became acting president of the island following a coup. This is Fiji. 1955, the American Federal Labor Congress of Industrial Organizations became a united body of autonomous labor unions with George Meany as its first president. He's a real meanie, that George Meany. 1952, a lethal smog began blanketing London, causing thousands of deaths. The incident prompted passage of the Clean Air Act. So straight up a lethal smog in 1952 killed thousands of people. Wow, that's crazy. 1947, American boxer Joe Louis defended his heavyweight title against Jersey Joe Wilcock in New York City. Utah became the 36th U.S. state to ratify the 21st Amendment, repealing prohibition. That was in 1933. 1890, director Fritz Lang, whose films dealing with fate and man's inevitability, working out his destiny, and considering a masterpiece of visual composer, was born in Vienna. This is 1872, the American brigantine Mary Celeste was found abandoned some 400 nautical miles from Azor, Portugal. The fate of the 10 people aboard still remains a mystery. So this is like a ghost ship that rolled through in 1872. That's weird. 1848, and you know what happened, Dracula? Dracula happened. In 1848, his annual message to Congress, U.S. President James K. Polk confirmed the discovery of gold in California, helping to spark the gold rush, which brought an estimated 300,000 people to the territory. That was in 1848. That happened today, guys. The president's like, there's gold, and then there hills, and they came a running. 1839, U.S. cavalry officer George Armstrong Custer, whose achievement during the Civil War were later overshadowed by the disastrous outcome of Battle of Little Bighorn, was born. So General Custard, guys, was born today. Get yourself some custard. All right, 1791, American composer Wolfgang Amadeus, rock me Amadeus, Amadeus, died in Vienna at age 35. He was a youngster. 1784, Phyllis Wheatley, the first African American woman poet of note in the United States, died in Boston. 1782, Martin Van Buren, who served as 8th president of the United States, was one of the founders of the Democratic Party, was born. And leader of the Van Buren Boys gang down in New York City. If you guys watch Seinfeld, you'll know all George had to do was flash the 8 for the 8th president. But no, the Van Buren Boys didn't take that, and they cleaned George's clock. That's right, guys. Don't mess with them Van Buren Boys. All right, 1757, in the greatest victory, Persian King Frederick II, the best of the Fredericks, defeated Austrians at the Leuthen during the 7 Years' War. That's right. And that was your Today in History, guys. Burp, burp, burp. All right. F. Custard. He was a real a-hole. Do you have a bud, buddy? Greedy MFers. Look at Brian's bong blowing this thing up. Dang, I found mine, but he needs to see his dock insides are falling out. I would just like to go back to the days when people were not so freaking soft. That is true. That is true. All right, guys. That was your Today in History, man. Crazy. Which is the one? You know what? I want to look at the fog. I'm sorry, guys. I got to look at this fog story. This thing intrigues me. Here we go. A lethal smog. Great Smog of London. This happened today, guys. It started. Great Smog of London, lethal smog that covered the city of London for 5 days from December 5th to December 9th in 1952. It was caused by a combination of industrial pollution and high pressure weather conditions. The smog and the smoke and fog brought London to a near standstill. As a result, thousands of deaths. Its consequences prompted Parliament to pass a Clean Air Act 4 years later, which marked a turning point in the history of the environmentalism. Yeah, so just wow, that's crazy, man. And fog in London's thick anyway. So man, woo, out there just what is that? 28 days later, something like that, man. Oh man. All right, guys, we are getting into today. I know, right? My grandpa walked uphill in a blizzard barefoot every day as a kid. Always said I was soft because I wanted to bike to ride to school. You know, I think it's a generational thing. If you guys really think about it, you kind of go into that generation who's ahead of you. I guess it would be behind you. So we're the generation ahead. Yeah. So the generation behind you are always lazy. They're always no work ethic. Like, you know, the people ahead of us said that about us. The people ahead of them said that about them, so on and so forth. So here we are. And, you know, and it's not wrong. It's the truth. I mean, like, you know, it's a crazy situation, but I think it's life. And, you know, I like to think about that. Like when I'm stressed and I got things going on, sometimes I like to pop in my head and be like, well, you know, you're only the 27th million person in the world's history to deal with this. You know, most stuff there's a roadmap, man. Like we're not the only ones who've been through a majority of this stuff. I find it funny when like couples, that I know will say things like, "Oh, when I get home and he goes to work, he comes home and he just wants to relax, not knowing that I worked all day and nah." And you're like, and vice versa, the singer, and you're like, well, that again, that's been a story that's been going on since the 20s, since the 10s. Like that's a story throughout time. There's got to be a solution. So I mean, you got to know that, guys. We've gone through so much history that whatever you're going through in life, whatever struggles, there's got to be a roadmap. There's got to be someone who's done the exact same thing and went through it just fine. And that's what we need to find. And that's the roadmap we need to go down. We're not alone in this thing. We're together, guys. We got your back. So if you're feeling depressed, you're feeling down, you're feeling whatever this holiday season, guys, reach out to one of us. We're here. We're here to entertain you. I can't juggle, but we'll figure something out, guys. And I mean it, man. There's a roadmap. There is a cure for whatever ailment you're dealing with, guys. It's been done before. So just have that faith. Hold in that little bit longer, guys. Don't think of anything stupid this holiday season, man. You're loved, you're respected, and that's all you need in life. All right. So remember that, guys. Remember that. The 1940s were built different. 18 and charging the beaches to almost certain death. Yeah, I would say that for sure. You know how hard it is being a construction worker who's forced to live in a society that gets offended by the word hello, mama. You mean we can't cat call anymore? What's going on? No cat calls? Oh, man. All right, guys, let's get into this. We are going to get into the greatest Christmas toys of the 80s, guys. I want to hear some stories, man. I want to hear how you guys ran through downstairs, through the kitchen, through the woods, the grandmother's house we go. I want to hear what you guys got. What was your favorite Christmas morning of all time, guys? What was the gift that got you out of bed, that got you going? For me, oh yeah, this is a good one. All right, yeah, this is the one we're sticking with. All right. I found a good list, guys. I found a good list. Oh, Eric. Oh, Eric. Oh, Eric. Where's I don't see Harley up in here this morning. No Harley this morning? She up in here? She might be working. She might be working. I don't see back to retro. He's probably working. Oh man, what's going on over there on the mod squad, guys? Wait, when Brian just said run through, had a totally different impersonation in my head. Impression. Oh man, you guys rock. All right, guys. So let's get into this. PlayStation 1 motorbike. I just watched 8-Bit Christmas. If you guys have not seen 8-Bit Christmas, I would highly recommend it. It's with Neil Patrick Harris, and it's the story of him getting a Nintendo, his first Nintendo, and how the parents didn't want it, and how they had to do an adventure. There's the Billy Ripkin fuckface card makes an appearance in this thing. If you guys love the 90s and you grew up in that 90s vibe, you're going to love this movie, man. 8-Bit Christmas. So good, man. It really threw me back. Made me cry at the end. I ain't going to lie. Maybe we'll do that next week on the review. 8-Bit Christmas, man. Yeah, so good, guys. It tells the story about his ultimate gift, which you'll find out, which was he tells the story about the Nintendo, the ultimate gift, and it turns out a different way. But man, it's a good movie from beginning to end. It's fun. You guys are gonna laugh. I definitely recommend you guys to check it out. But he talks about those in that movie, getting that Nintendo, getting the things that you want. And I'm trying to think that for me, G.I. Joe was a big one. Star Wars was a big one. chemistry set one year. That was a big one. That was the one I really wanted, was that chemistry set. What else? Trying to think of some really good ones. I had a lot of good Christmases, man. I was blessed. Yeah, GI Joes, action figures. One Christmas I got a bunch of LJN wrestlers. You know, the big rubber wrestling figures. That was my jam. I really liked those ones. Yeah, trying to think. I'll think as we're going through this list. I definitely will see a couple that we need to. Oops, oopsie daisy. Hang on one second, guys. There we go. All right. All right, let's get into this, guys. These are the ultimate 15 things that would have been on your Christmas list as a kid in the 80s, guys. All right. First up, Sweet Valley High board game, guys. One of my friends at primary school, Melina, had this board game. And although I was much more of a babysitter's club gal, every time I went to her house, I wanted to play it. The premise in hindsight is actually pretty hideous. You each assume the identity of one of the four Sweet Valley High characters. Edna, Jessica, Elizabeth, or Lila, and the goal is to go on a date with your boyfriend. But before you can do that, you must locate said boyfriend, plus find 3 items that are necessary in order to go on the date, plus her teacher chaperone, which are all hidden across the board. Melina, if you somehow still have this, can we please have a rematch? Sweet Valley High, the game, guys. What do you know about that? Now, for you ladies out there, for the girls, what about? Oh, see if we can do this. There we go. There we go. There we go. What about a new jellies, guys? Who remembers jellies? These freaking weird things that would leave. Do you remember if you wore jellies? Do you remember the weird dirt stains that would stay on your feet after you wore the jellies? They were footwear of the summer, so the perfect gift to get at Christmas. This despite the fact that jelly shoes were made of plastic. Yikes, my apologies to the environment. And therefore the entire unbreathable and slippery as hell. You should inevitably get sweaty feet and stand in puddles, but you'll still feel like Elsa before there was even Elsa wearing them, especially if you managed to get the glitter ones. All I remember is the girls who wore these, when they took them off, their feet would have that dirty, um, is this for ladies? Is this all for girls? This list might just all be for, no, there's some other stuff in here. This isn't the only list, guys. There's other lists, so don't worry your pretty little heads, guys. So jellies, guys, jellies. Who remembers a Dinky diary? I don't. I kind of remember Dinkies. Was that the plastic that you would like put on? Okay. One of my pride and joys each year was my Dinky diary organizer. I normally had a blue one, and I felt like I was a high-flying 45-year-old businesswoman every time I snapped the magnetic seals that opened into 3 separate sections: my note, diary, calendar, and super serious homework file. The first thing I would do is to flip the sticker section and peeled off the black and red top secret sticker and put it on the first page of my diary and wrote "keep out" along with my personal details so someone could get my highly confidential diary back to me should I ever leave it in the Lloyd Elser swimming pool changing rooms. Oh man. So yeah, the Dinky diary, guys. What do you know about that? Shrinkadinks is what I'm thinking of. Who remembers Shrinkadinks? Leave it to Brian. What's this? I didn't like those kind of shoes and Crocs I won't wear. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Those things, they look uncomfortable. But I totally remember the girls wearing it and their feet having those weird stains on them. All right, this is a better list here, guys. If we can get the ads not to pop up here. All right. Jeez Louise, man. All right, we get it. You're an ad. Go away. We get it. All right, guys, here we go. Maybe. Jesus. Well, maybe not, because that list obviously sucks. And this is the same list that we were just on. All right. All right, here we go. This is a better, I think. All right, here we go, guys. Sorry about that. I want to make sure it wasn't an all-girl list. Lonnie don't want an all-girl list, guys. Oh, all right. There we go. We're working it out. Work it out. Work it out. All right. Number one, guys, the Rubik's Cube. Who remembers the Rubik's Cube and how big that thing was? The brilliant Hungarian puzzle, I didn't know it was Hungarian, was developed by Erno Rubix in the mid-70s and presented at toys fairs at the dawn of the decade. It would go on to be one of the biggest selling toys of all time, shipping 1/3 of a billion units. The current record for solving the 3x3 cube is 4.9 seconds. By the way, we're not ashamed to admit we moved the stickers around after getting stuck. Yeah, who did that? Who moved the stickers around on the Rubik's Cube? I totally did. Totally did. Totally did, guys. Rubik's Cube. I never was able to figure it out. My attention span just didn't get there. What about Masters of the Universe, guys? He-Man. That's right. Mattel's He-Man toys hit the shelf a year before the popular animated series. In those early cartoonless months, we wondered what kids yelled instead of by the power of Grayskull. Whatever there could came to their imaginations. We suppose core characters like He-Man, Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, and Battle Cat hit the stores first. More creatures and the She-Ra spin-off Princess of Powers followed shortly after. Man, I remember I had Castle Grayskull, I had Snake Mountain, and then I had the claw. It was the slime claw for the horde that like popped up, and it would trap the guy, and then you would pour slime on him. And I accidentally put slime on Moss Man, which wasn't a good idea. It was a guy made of moss, and so yeah. But man, yeah, totally remember He-Man, Masters of the Universe. What He-Man memories do you guys have? Anyone a He-Man fan out there? I used to play with my sister's gem dolls. I would set up my He-Man figures around the bonfire and of melting plastic. Okay, Sid. Okay. We all just learned Brian has a foot fetish, or more of a foot. I wouldn't say a fetish. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh man. Yeah, so He-Man, one of the greatest toys. Battle Cat was one I never had. I never had Man-at-Arms, which was a weird one. And I did have Moss Man. I did have a few other ones that I can remember. I had a pretty good He-Man collection. Castle Grayskull, like I said, I had Snake Mountain, and then I had the claw thing that popped up, the slime, which was real cool. Gotta love some He-Man. My He-Man would fight my G.I. Joes. Nice. That would be an interesting challenge. All right, what else we got, guys? We got glowworms. Who remembers the glowworm song? I wish, you know what, before we leave, we're going to, if I can remember, we'll listen to the glowworm commercial. When squeezed, the plush green bodies would illuminate the plastic head with a light inside. The doll was such a hit with the younger set, it spawned dozens of other products. Some you can see here. So yeah, glowworm, guys, those were big. I remember that. I remember everyone's little brother having a glowworm. 83, guys, freaking Cabbage Patch Kids hit the market. Who remembers this? There's in that 8-bit Christmas, there's a throwback to Cabbage Patch Kids in there too. Xavier Roberts began selling his chubby cheek baby dolls in North Georgia before licensing them to Coleco in 1893 and 1982. In 1983, parents were knocking down doors to get their hands on the things, creating one of the first true toy crazes of the modern era. Kids too cool for the cute things would have to wait until 85 to collect the Garbage Pail Kids. Yeah, man, when these things came out, it was insane. Off the shelves. And I think this was the real first toy craze, right? Of all time. These things were massive, man. Flying off the shelf, grandmas fighting people over them. I loved my glowworm. We had a few glowworms. My nephew had that, and Teddy Rockspin. Nice, nice. Yeah, man, these they came with a birth certificate. The first time that came with it, you felt like you were adopting. They had with the plastic head with the yarn hair. They came in different. I had a Russian one. That's right. His name was Justin. He was a Russian exchange. I wonder if he was really like 35 years old, but he was pretending to be a Cabbage Patch Kid just so he could. If you guys have seen that series about the woman who was adopted from Russia, and they think she was really like a midget or a small person, little person, who was pretending to be a kid. If you guys haven't seen that, it's on HBO Max, man. I would check that out. I still have a full set of Garbage Pail Kids. Nice, nice. We put Welcome to the Jungle in Teddy, and we get stoned and watch him. It's freaking awesome. That would be pretty awesome. I might have to get a Teddy Rockspin now just so we could do that. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, up next, guys, is Transformers. More than meets the eyes. That's right. Tonka's GoBots hit toy stores months before Hasbro Transformers. Who remembers the GoBots? But being the first doesn't always mean victory. Who would have guessed that these vehicular and dinosaur and cassette player robots would spawn 4 blockbuster movies and counting? The 5th one's on its way in 2017. I think we're up to about 8 or 9 of them now, man. Yeah, Transformers, man. I remember these things hit, and they hit hard. Man, those first, the first ones. What was it? Optimus Prime. You had Megatron. Was Megatron the gun? The gun was really cool. The cassette tape was Storm Shadow, I believe. Those were really cool. Man, that first round of Transformers were freaking fire, man. I think, what was Optimus Prime? He was the truck, but then he turned like there was like a big blaster behind him or something. GoBots were sold at Kmart. The only stuffed animal I had was My Pet Monster. I actually still have one of those, Eric. I still have a My Pet Monster. My daughter has it in her room to this day. Love me, My Pet Monster. I actually found it at a Goodwill about 10 or 15 years ago, brand new in the box. Shockwave and Soundwave was Shockwave the gun? What was Megatron? Was Megatron the jet? Who was the gun? Look, Lonnie knows. If anyone knows, it's Lonnie, man, on this stuff. All right, guys. So, yeah. So, man, Transformers, that first round of Transformers, when you were able to transform the Transformers smoothly. Yeah, now, man, it's like a whole day the freaking transformer. I remember it got so complicated on those things. I remember they had the dinosaurs. Do you guys remember the dinosaur transformers that were like gold? It got so complicated that once you got them either in the robot or dinosaur form, you were just like done. You're like, I ain't transformer him back. Takes too long. Excuse me. Megatron was the gun. Yeah, that gun was cool, man. That gun and the Dinobots. That gun was cool, and so was that cassette player, man. That was what every kid wanted. All right, up next, guys, number 6, the Teddy Ruxpin. We were just talking about this. Talking dolls were not a new thing, but Chatty Cathy was one of the most popular Christmas toys of the 60s. But the cassette deck tucked away in Teddy's torso made the bear more mystical storyteller. We mouth and he would mouth and move even if you put in heavy metal tapes in your little sister's Ruxpin. Not that we did that. It was her friend. Lonnie, you were the kid. Lonnie was the kid who would do that. We got to find a Teddy Ruxpin, man, and do a show about that. All right, guys, number 7. Who were Teddy Ruxpin's friends? Didn't he have like a worm? He had like a glowworm too, and he had another guy, like a hippo or like some kind of weird thing. Yeah, Teddy Ruxpin had a couple weird friends, I believe. Soundwave was the Walkman with the cassette that turned into the bird. Yeah. I had the Construction Decepticons, which was the construction vehicle that changed into a giant robot like the Dinobots. That was almost like a Voltron thing too, right? Didn't they all come together to make one giant robot or something like that? Yeah. All right, Nintendo, guys. Who got a Nintendo for Christmas? This would be in 86. For all the advancements in graphics, the 8-bit visuals of Super Mario remain the perfection of the medium. Upon launch, the system game with a bunch of add-ons such as the NES Zapper light gun for Duck Hunt, a gyroscope spinning robot named Rob. Yeah, that's something that doesn't get talked about too much, was the spinning robot named Rob for the Nintendo. You don't see that too often, there one. But yeah, man, I remember. Who remembers what was the first game on Nintendo that you guys became obsessed with? Mario is a big one for everybody. For me, it was Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I remember riding my bike to Bob's Computers on Hancock over across the street from the high school in Bullhead City, Arizona. And Bob's Computers. And he had a Nintendo set up so you could test the game, so then you could buy them. And he would let us scraggly kids in there, and we would be able to play it. And I remember I played Mike Tyson's Punch Out for the very first time. It was the first game I ever played on the Nintendo, and man, I was hooked. I had to figure out how I was getting a Nintendo, what was going on. I'm sure my parents might have got it for me. Ooh. Oh man, sorry guys. Oh, I'm sure my parents would have got me one, but I ended up earning mine. I ended up getting it. I worked at the car wash, or it wasn't the car wash. Told you guys, the car lot, when I was like 14 years old, and I washed cars for a living, making minimum wage 40 hours a week at 13, 14 years old. So I ended up was at Walmart when they went on sale for $100. They were like 150, and I wouldn't do it at 150. And then they went on. You still have the glove? Oh my God. That's crazy, Tim W. Castlevania, that was a good one. Mario was a good one. The Power Pad Zelda, that was a great one. Duck Hunt, that was a good one, man. Duck Hunt. Do you remember at the arcade, they had the dual Nintendo system? So they had Mario on one, and then you could play Duck Hunt on the other. And it was like your introduction to what you could be playing at home on your own TV. Man, I remember just getting immersed. Caliano's Pizza. again in Bullhead City, across from the high school. They had the Mario machine, and we would go there after baseball for Little League. And they had one. I remember that's the first time I ever played Mario and instantly hooked. But Mike Tyson's Punch Out, that's what it was for me, man. That was the one that got me hooked. I remember playing it at my friend Dave Verithaler's house while he dyed his mom's hair in 6th grade. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, man, Nintendo has shaped everyone's lives. And even later on, Sega Genesis for me. I remember during my bad boy days, my bad tweaker days, um, zoning out, playing some Tecmo Bowl, playing wrestling. Monday Night Raw was the big one. Royal Rumble was a big one. Oh man, I love those. Man, it's like that's the thing, guys. How many hours, how many like little adventures in your mind did you have during these games that you were just immersed to the place? Man, that's a huge part of our childhood. Huge part of our childhood. The first game I got was Mario and Duck Hunt Duel. Nice, nice. All right, up next, guys, from Nintendo, we go to the Popples. I vaguely remember these. The Popples. Susan Trentonthal, a toy designer for TCFC, is an unsung genius in the 80s playtime. She worked for prototypes of Strawberry Shortcake, the Care Bears, which would have made this list if not for Cabbage Patch Kids. She then dreamt up the Popples, rolled up socks, reportedly. This colorful mismatch of hedgehog, bear, and koala were hot just for a couple years, but the fever was high. Ooh. Let's check these out, guys. Boom. Check those out. NES Play Action Football, the Magic Kingdom Day, Double Dribble, Blades of Steel. I remember Blades of Steel. Totally remember Blades of Steel. Yeah, so those were the Popples. I don't remember those. Oh man, huge, guys, still going strong. 1989, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The cult comic book premiered in 84, but hardly put a dent in the Marvel or DC sales. When the action figures were presented to potential manufacturers, many toy companies turned them down. Playmates wisely took a chance on what became one of the most popular lines of all time. Yeah, I remember my friend Pat Olson introducing me to the Ninja Turtles. He was a year younger than me. And yeah, he was like, this is what I rock with. I was like still playing with my G.I. Joes. And he pulled out these action figures, man. These things were cool. Comic book to go with them. They were a little more adult, so kids kind of liked them. Yeah, man, Ninja Turtles. You couldn't go wrong with Ninja Turtles. Huge, 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 huge. The Game Boy, guys. This is another one. Another one that is huge. The Game Boy, probably the biggest on this list, guys. Nintendo again. A few years removed from their massive NES, the Japanese company launched its first handheld Pioneer. Most picked one up to play the ultimate puzzle game Tetris, a nice way to bracket up a decade that began with the Rubik's Cube. Thanks to those falling blocks and the catchy digital soundtrack, millions of people can now whistle the Russian folk song. So yeah, man, the Rubik's Cube, I'm sorry, the Game Boy. Game Boy was a huge, huge, huge Christmas present, man. Who got the Game Boy for Christmas one year? I did not. I did not. I never actually have owned a Game Boy. When they came out, like the retro ones that came out years later, but actual Game Boy I did not ever own. Yeah, they let's see, Eric. Yeah, I agree. Nintendo did shape my life. I learned that the controllers were a perfect weapon for my mom's boyfriend. Oh. Well, let's go find him, Eric, and we'll put a freaking controller shaped mark in his back. How about that? Oh man. I had the Game Gear. Game Gear was actually pretty cool. Pretty cool. I actually like the Game Gear better. Wasn't it in color? Wasn't the Game Gear in color? Don't be Brian's song or Brian's bong. It was all shaping me for my kids. Yeah, you know what? That is true, man. It helps you appreciate what you got. It helps you really, really appreciate your kids and giving them the best childhood you possibly ever could. That's what it's all about, right? Keeping them innocent, giving them the best childhood, seeing those smiles on their face, having them believe in magic just for that little bit longer. You know what I mean? Man, that's what it's all about, man. Um, good, man. Um, because that's what raising kids all about, man, is just keeping that magic alive. And as long as they're not up in a bell tower with a rifle shooting people, I think we're all good. In color, it could hook up together and race each other on long road trips. Nice. Best NES game ever for me was Skate or Die 2. That was a good one. Skate or Die. Who remembers that? I remember in the arcade, didn't it have like the weird controller that was at an angle and you just had to spin it for like the ollies and all that kind of stuff? Oh man. What else we got? What else there was a good 80s Christmas gift here, guys? Let's see what else we got. I know there was a bunch. Let's see. Rosie, stop. Stop. My Little Pony was a big one. Etch-a-Sketch, that was a big one. Let's see what else we got here. Hungry Hippos, guys. Who remembers Hungry Hippos? That was a huge one. Care Bears, that was a big one. Pound Puppies. Who remembers Pound Puppies? That was huge. Pound puppies were massive, man. Yeah, I don't think I ever owned a pound puppy. Who had some pound puppies out there? Masters of the Polly Pocket. There you go, Honey Nut Hero. And Polly Pocket has evolved to keep up with every changing times, but the original Polly Pocket was easily one of the most beloved toys of the 80s. The miniature doll came in compact makeup, compact size doll houses, and the variety of dolls and compacts available were endless. The Walkman. Can't forget the Walkman, guys. That thing was revolutionary. Star Wars toys, that's another one that was massive. Who else we got? Yes, Pogo Ball. Who remembers the Pogo Ball? It was like this big ball that was like on a stand, and then it was like a pogo stick, but different. The Pogo Ball, invented by Belgium toy designers in 1969, the Pogo Ball became a massive trend in the toy landscape of the mid-80s. The toy was manufactured by Hasbro throughout the 80s, and in the early 90s. You can still find it today, though Gen Z kids might prefer their hoverboards. Don't forget Mr. Potato Head. Etch-a-Sketch was a big one. Pez. Who remembers getting Pez in their stockings, guys? That was a good one. And then Sesame Street Dollhouse. They got listed on here, guys. I remember those play sets, the Sesame Street play sets, and those early play sets were actually pretty darn cool. I enjoy them. NES Star Wars was good for the time. It was probably Running Man. There was an awesome game on Nintendo. I can't remember the name, but it was like the movie Running Man. It was crazy. I never realized how unfair growing up was. Girls had more toy options. But then we make more money than them, so it's all good. Oh, with the slammers trying to flip the pogs over. Yeah, the pogs. Oh, man. And then you get into a whole mess of stuff after our generation. You got Pokemon, you got Yu-Gi-Oh, you got all the stuff, guys. But that was from our childhood, guys. Some of the best gifts we ever got. I remember getting an X-Wing one year for Christmas. Man, that was a big one. So many great gifts. Thank you to my parents, man, for putting together such great memories for Christmas, man. Hopefully, my kids have these same memories. Hopefully your kids have them. You have them. You can hand them on to nieces and nephews, grandkids, whatever you got going on. Hopefully everything's grade A, and you can relive these memories with them, man, because that's what life is all about. Sharing memories, having good times, guys. That's what it's all about. All right, appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm gonna get on out of here, guys. I will be back at 4:20, where we're gonna have a good one, guys. We got a Paranormal Tuesday special edition, guys. We're gonna be looking into Krampus. I'm just going to say it, guys. We're going to be looking into Krampus. That's right. Paranormal Tuesday. We're blowing it out big. We are looking into Krampus. We're doing a deep dive. Everything you want to know about Krampus, we're going to get to the red notes of it, guys. I don't know. Whatever. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. It was a great, wonderful show today. Man, make sure you're hitting that like button. Let's see if we can get it over 100 likes today, guys. Appreciate you. I'm going to go off and I'm going to do my thing. I'm feeling a little better. Shoulder's still a little sore, but I'm feeling a little better today. So I'm going to see about cleaning up this house, doing some stuff, guys. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Man, stay lit, stay live out there. Guys, remember, pay it forward, breathe in that positivity, exhale that negativity, hold that door open, talk to the old man, listen to him vent, do whatever you need to do. Be nice, say hello to that kind lady, whatever you need to do, guys, pay it forward. Oh, nice, 141, awesome. Pay it forward. Remember the days where you're scraping to get like 10 or 11 of them? Man, now times are crazy. And I want to thank you guys. Head on over to dailydank.com. Check out all the wonderful stuff over there, guys. Check out the community page. We got new polls going up. Make sure you're voting on November to dismember. We're going to get into the next bracket, guys. So tune in at 4:20. We're going to be covering all things Krampus, guys. So make sure you join in. I will see you on the road. I will see you on I don't know. I was going to make up some rhyme, but I couldn't. All right, guys. I will see you at 4:20. Appreciate you. Remember, positivity, not negativity, guys. Lady said she loved my Christmas sweater yesterday. Made me smile. See, look at that. Look at that, Lonnie. It's all good. All right, guys. Appreciate you. I will see you at 4:20. Don't forget to check out those wild daily deals over at the Healing Center, guys. 1400 Needles Highway, Needles, California. Save some green on some green, guys. I think it's Tincture Tuesday. Topicals and tinctures on sale. Get on down there. All right, guys. We will see ya.
Thank you for joining us on the It's 420 Somewhere podcast. Broadcasting worldwide and brought to you by thedailydank.com. Check out our merchandise and amazing content. And follow us on all our social media. Now, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
See you guys.